If your reputation has been damaged, how did that make you feel?
And how would it feel to have your reputation fully restored?
Well, there's a great story in the Word of God about this very thing. Now, you know this story as the lady Mary Magdalene, but actually her name was Miriam from the city of Magdala. And so what happened in the 4th to 6th century, they came in, updated, which it didn't need to be, the Word of God and changed some things to make it a more easy read, so to speak, for the people. But the truth is, this wonderful lady has been called every bad name you can think of. And her reputation has been horribly damaged. Now, I don't want to debate, did she live an inappropriate life, and did she engage in immoral behavior? What we must do is look at this incredible woman as all the good that she did, because she found the hope she was looking for. She found the answers to her problems, and those answers were Messiah Yeshua. Her life changed in a moment. But sadly enough, what is remembered about her was all the bad stuff. Anytime we stay in the past and we make the past the story of our life, our reputation is going to match that past. Well, Mary of Magdala must be known for the greatness of who she was and who she forever should be known for.
We were recently on a trip to Israel in the Galilee area. And in recent years, they have uncovered the village of Magdala, which was Mary Magdalene's village. So we know that this woman had a reputation, but is the reputation that has been preached about this woman the one that she truly identified with in those days?
So what we know about this woman was that she was extremely wealthy, and she also was a very troubled soul. But one day, Jesus of Nazareth walks in and attends the synagogue there and begins to speak to the people. We call it preaching, but really he was just sharing the truths of heaven. She saw in him everything her heart needed to be whole. She places her faith in him, and she becomes the caretaker for the disciples and particularly for Yeshua. And so from that moment forward, all of her money goes to buying the food, the clothing, repairing of the clothing, the repairing of the shoes, the personal items that they need for their everyday life. A group of women joined Mary in this, but she's in charge. And so every night when it was time for the disciples to sleep, Mary was the one who would make the pallet out for Yeshua.
Come on.
She's the one who made sure that the rocks were not going to be hurting his body as he laid down, and that the place was clean, that he had clean clothes. She's the one who washed them. She's the one who made sure his sandals were in good working order. She's the one who knew his favorite foods and made sure that not only his food was provided, but the food for the rest of the disciples. She was the caretaker of Yeshua. And it's important to remember that this woman had an absolutely pure relationship with Yeshua. There was a higher love between them than a physical love. They didn't need that because their hearts were united in the Spirit, and she loved him with the highest love that's humanly possible. Can you imagine all that this woman did? Gave of her wealth, gave of her influence, made sure all the other girls took care of the other disciples, did the grocery shopping and things like that.
This woman did so much for Yeshua, and yet we find her in other places. Not only was she caring for him behind the scenes, but then we find that on the day that he is hanging on the cross, she's standing there comforting his mother. She is one of the last ones that is standing with him when he is in his finest hour, and then comes with the spices to anoint his body after he has passed, and discovers that he's no longer in the tomb. This woman, all I can say is, wow, what a woman.
Well, and it's a big deal because anyone at that cross knows if the Romans were after Yeshua, which clearly they were, then anyone with him is also going to pay the same penalty. That's why most people ran. All the other disciples ran and hid, but not John, bless his heart.
Come on.
And not the three Marys. Mary of Magdala, his mother, and then another Mary. The courage of this woman, because here's the deal. When he was put on the cross, he didn't die immediately. He's in that place, feeling the indescribable amount of pain and suffering. But John is there, and those three ladies, staying with him to make sure he didn't die alone, understanding that at any moment they too would most likely be arrested and suffer the same kind of penalty. The Romans were known for that, but not this courageous woman. Listen, this is all about regaining a reputation, regaining your standing in the world, and this woman deserves that. I hope from now on, whenever you tell this story, that you make sure that this woman is known for who she became, not who she was, but who she became once she placed her faith in Messiah Yeshua. She loved him. She cared for him. She fed him. She made sure he had everything he needed. And then in his most difficult moment, she never left his side. What a hero and a woman for all of us to say thank you to.
If you're enjoying this, and I know that you are, some of you ladies out there, or some of you have had your reputations destroyed. You've been talked about in a way that just isn't true to the character of who you are. Put that in the comments. We would love to read your stories and hear how you too have been restored to the fullness of who you really are.
All of us have made mistakes in life and done things that we wish that we hadn't done. But the truth of our life is who we are now, particularly for those who have come to faith in Messiah Yeshua. Well, from the Bible's perspective, here's a great question. Does the Bible talk more about Newtonian science or about quantum science? Watch this next video for answers to that.